So hello, I am Magic Rarebob, and today I'm here with Quiet Kieran.
AKA known as the
Banterful
Fountain of Knowledge.
The Banterful Fountain of Knowledge. Fair enough. So Ikoria, the new set, has been released, or not been released yet, but spoiler season has begun. And oh crikey, there's a lot of cards to go through that I've missed in the last few days. Has any of them that you've spotted that you think you quite like the look of, or what sort of things have caught your eye?
I mean, it's a giant set of big beastie boys. So, I mean, I don't know this type of set anyway, but if we're being serious, like, that hippo, oof, that is...
There's a hippo? I don't think I've seen said hippo yet, but that will intrigue me then. So getting into it then from the off.
There's a dinosaur hippo, it is good.
Is there there's a dinosaur hippo? Well, I'm sure we will find that on our list of creatures today then. What do you think to the bringing back of the three new mechanics and the bringing back of cycling?
Cycling, I think, is fine. It was back in Amonkhet, didn't really do much, it was useful. Didn't really work standard. Some of the cycling cards in this set are pushed though, so, you know, we'll actually see it show up a bit more than what it was. Don't get me wrong, cycling was a whole deck in standard, like there was a new specifically a deck focused on it, but it wasn't like meta breaking until Approach of the Second Sun came out.
Yeah, I mean I like that in Commander. So I mean, do you think any of these cycling cards will make their way into Commander decks, or do you think they're all just going to be a bit?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, so
is a good one to, for example, the turtle dinosaurs.
Oh, you mean the red one, the one that Sean hates?
Yes.
Let me read it. So Yidadro, Wandering Monster, 5 red for an 8/8 trampling haste turtle dinosaur. Looks really cool. I quite like the alternate artwork on it. Cycling
the
for
art's definitely better.
Yeah, I mean the alternate art is really cool. It's got cycling for 1 and a red, and it says whenever you cycle said card, shuffle it into your library from your graveyard. If you cycled a card named blankety blank 4 or more times this game, put it onto the battlefield from your graveyard instead. So that seems pretty good. I mean, in standard, you're going to be running 4 of these, and that's going to get out of control pretty quick. Commander?
For me, the way that I look at it is a 2-mana draw a card that eventually turns into an 8/8 with trample and haste for 8 mana. Like for 8 mana, draw 4 cards, have an 8/8 with trample haste.
Yeah, I mean, I think in like. I mean, I could see me playing this probably in my mono red deck in Commander, because eventually, like you say, you're going to get the payoff, and at worst, I can always pay 7 at some point if I needed to. But most of the time, yeah, like you're saying, you're getting a card. It's not really the end of the world, is it? So yeah, it seems a pretty cool card.
It's literally a really good. The good thing to note, well, the big thing to notice about that card is it says, literally on the bottom of the text, do this before you draw.
Okay, so what makes that so good then? Is that because
it's like a little block of text that's on there, so it could be that you actually play your draw before you draw instead of shuffling it back in, or it's just telling you the best time to do it.
Okay, so it's a little bit of information there, but yeah, okay. I mean, like I say,
it might need to be obviously a bit more clarified on what that means, but what I do think that means is that you actually play it before you draw step. But I could be wrong there.
It seems interesting,
really
yeah.
Being specified on.
It definitely seems sort of an interesting take on the cycling mechanic. I'm definitely intrigued by that.
Cycling's definitely got a lot of interesting stuff this time.
Yeah, I was going to say, they've even done that, haven't they, with one of the Commander... I mean, I was going to do a separate video, and no doubt we'll get into that with a few other people and yourself on the channel, but I am quite intrigued by what they do with these new Commanders, and especially with that cycling one. I wasn't sure first it was that good and powerful.
For me, I think the issue with the cycling card is that it's don't get me wrong, it's really good. But let me just try and find it. I just need to double check the colours on it, because I think it's unfortunately the wrong colours.
Yeah, I mean, so Gavin Ness Warden, that's the it's 2 blue. Well, it's Jeskai, isn't it? Blue, red, and white. Yeah.
No, it's perfect colours then.
Right, okay.
It's stupid then.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the reason what I think is going to happen is if it does take off, we're going to see new perspectives go up a little bit. We're going to see Astral Slide, which is a very old card.
Okay.
It's whenever you cycle a card, you can pay 1. and you flick and you exile a permanent until the end step.
Well, don't worry. I'll be getting Emma, Paul Love, to go and find these cards and put him into the video sequence, or hopefully.
Astral Drift might see a bit of play in Commander, which is something that isn't normally played.
That will be, yeah, and that's what's quite fun, is that finding old cards that you can put back into sets or even Commander products and reuse.
In terms of having support for that deck, like you've got the entire Amonkhet kind of thing, but unfortunately it's Jeskai, so we can't play Shallow Grave because it would add everything back, so you can't really do it as the full combo kind of thing, but it is Jeskai, which means there is combos.
There is, yeah. I know you do love your combos, but I'll try and get us back onto the main topic here, which is just sticking with the Ikoria and not doing the Commander deck just yet. So we'll work our way down some of the spoilers that have happened so far. So the first 5 I wanted to kind of cover were the Apex cards. So you've got Snapex, Apex of the Hunt, Brockus, Apex of Forever.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm running through them all, but I quite like the fact that there's these 5 Apex creatures. And what I also quite enjoy is these Mythos cards that come with each of them. So it's almost like, you know, the mythology behind each of these cards.
We are missing one of them.
Yes. So at the moment there is 4. I mean, what we'll do is let's run through the 5 command. No, I don't know if they're commanders, but they could become commanders, or even just.
I like them. I think having one of each in the. I think it's the Khan cycle of.
I was going to say to you, I'm not great on knowing the different terminology for them. I mean, I know Jeskai is the blue, red, and white, but as for the... Is it Sultai? Is that black, white, and green?
Oh, yeah. So the ones that we've got here, we've got Mardu, Sultai,
yep.
Abzan, Jeskai, and Tila.
Ah, yeah, that's yeah. I think you're right with Khans because... Yeah, I think you're right because I bought a box of Khans of Tykia a few months ago, and that was because I thought I don't have any cards from that set, so I can agree with you on that. And I remember getting little cards inside the set with them on, so they're pretty cool. So alright, well, let's go with the first one then. So Snapex, Apex of the Hunt, that's 1 red, a white and a black for a legendary Dinosaur Cat Nightmare for 3/5. It's got double strike, and whenever this creature mutates, it deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls, and you gain 4 life. So I don't think it's... Oh, and I also should mention it's got the new mechanic Mutate, which is 2 red or a black and double white. If you cast
the thing to notice on all of these is that they all trigger when you mutate it onto a creature. It's not when it's mutated.
Okay. So basically, what we're saying is, let's say, I don't know, you have Snapex, Apex of the Hunt, and you attach, say, Brockus to it. Both of the effects would happen, would they? So would you get the... deal 4 damage to that creature or planeswalker, gain 4 life, and then it would also allow you to cast Brockus from your graveyard. Is that how it works?
So Brockus is an interesting one, actually. He doesn't really have an on-play ability.
No, sorry, I probably picked the wrong one there out of the 5, but yeah.
He's just a big, beefy boy that can mutate from draw.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking, like, in my Muldrotha deck, he seems quite fitting to go in there.
It's interesting. It depends on the wording on how Mutate works, because it could still take up your creature cast for the turn.
Yeah, I think the shame about him, I kind of wish that the text of what he's got was switched over with the other one, the Netheri, because that seems absolutely brilliant. I mean, well, let's go back to the Snapex, and then we can cover all the other ones. But so starting with the Snapex one, I think that's okay. I think being able to have double strike and deal 4 damage and gain 4 life is alright, but I don't think it's pushed too far there. I think it just seems... what do you think?
Lightning Helix with double strike. Well, it's 2 Lightning Helixes with double strike.
I'm thinking, I'm not super excited by it, but I don't know. If you feel it's more...
All of them are average, like, kind of like on the power scale most of the time, other than one of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, let's not beat around the bush. In far as I'm concerned, I feel it's more Nethri, but it might be different. You might have a different feeling. But I think Nethri is the one that interests me the most. So that's 2 white, black, and a green for a 5/5, Death Touch, Lifelink, and then it's just this crazy ability. It says, whenever this creature mutates, return any number of target creature cards with total power 10 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Now, at first, I thought it was a bit too broken, because what I thought it meant was that you could bring anything with power 10 back or less, as in you could have every creature back. What I think it means is a bit like those other cards where they've got to add up to 10. But even so, that is still a hell of a lot of value every time you mutate. So you're sticking cards in the bin.
It's insane.
Yeah, and I think this will definitely be... I think you could easily build a commander deck around this particular Apex, and it seems rather pretty cool.
Without going into it...
Yeah, because I mean, we will do a full set review on this, but you're over...
Taking a look at the set itself and the card, as in the set itself, it's not going to do much in terms of everything in this set is a big beefy boy, so it won't really bring back many stuff. In terms of outside of this set and commander-wise, it's going to do a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. I'm all about that. I mean, I don't mind Standard. I don't really play Standard too much. I've played a little bit because of what was going on in the world at the moment, and a little bit of Brawl. But this, to me, the home for it is going to be Commander. And like you say, there is so much potential for this card. We'll have a look at the other two Apexes as well. So we've got Ad-Rock's Apex of Thunder, Jeskai, only one I remember. Mutate for 1, a blue and a white, and double red. Flying First Strike. Whenever this creature mutates, you may cast target non-creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. Now, to me, this just seems a bit mad, because normally when you cast something for free from your graveyard, you get that sort of flashback mechanic where it gets exiled. In this case, they're not doing that. So you can keep... I mean, my first thought was this, is I'm going to put this on the battlefield, or I might attach it to my coin flipping deck. And straight away, I can cast again the extra turn. You know, you flip a coin, get an extra turn.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, that seems...
Well, the big thing is you've got to make sure it has 3 or less CMC.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, but I believe that coin flipping one, I forgot what it's called, but it's 1 red and a blue, toss a coin, get an extra turn, and that's the cheapest extra turn effect you can get, you know, outside of Time Walk or whatever that's banned. But I'm thinking,
I think what it is for me with this is all of these are going to require you to play a lot of mutate cards.
Yes, now yeah, I'll agree with you on that one.
Which means that your options for bringing stuff back with this may not be as prominent as what we might want it to be, but it's still good. Yeah,
the value's there, but it's not broken levels of value. Yeah, I can get that. I can get with the...
I definitely think it could get to broken levels of value.
Okay.
I don't think it's anywhere near there yet. Again,
it all depends on what else. I mean,
just depend on how many mutate cards
exactly. I mean, there's a lot more cards. Yeah, there's a lot more cards to be spoiled yet. So yeah, there's stuff that can happen. Covering the last one then. So Illuna, I think it is, Apex of Wishes, 2 green, blue, red for a 6/6. Now this seems pretty good. I mean, 6/6 flying trample for 5 mana. Mutate of 3, either red or green, double blue, and then it has whenever this creature mutates, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land permanent. Put that card onto the battlefield or into your hand. Now, to me, this just has like twofold levels of craziness. 1, you're choosing whether it goes in your hand or onto the battlefield. And 2, it doesn't even tell you what the CMC is. So that means it could be anything. Omniscience, bang, right, that's gone into battlefield.
It's a cascade with no cost.
Yeah, the only downside I see with this is that it says you exile the cards. Now, normally when you exile the cards, it says shuffle them and put them on the bottom of your library. In this case, you are losing them. So you could even... I mean, technically, you could build a sort of a... I forgot what it's called now, Labman sort of technique deck out of this as well, because if you exile your entire deck, or Thassa's Oracle, you could just do that and have fill the deck with lands, Thassa's Oracle, job done. I mean, not exactly that, but you know what I mean. It's abusable, certainly, I think, out of these 5.
Yeah, again, it's one of those that's going to look like... I could just go like 97 lands, 1 mutate card, and a Thassa's Oracle.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to build that, but I mean, I'm sure there's some individuals in our playgroup that might even sit there for one night just for a bit of fun to do that.
Or you could even go 98 lands, 1 companion, 1 man and that.
I mean, you could go one step further. I was just thinking, there's that, I forgot what it's called, is it the blue card that's 1 and a blue and it brings all the land, you dig through your deck till you find a non-land basically, and all the lands go in your hand. Not Treasure Cruise, I keep forgetting what it's called, but I'll look it up after this. But
Treasure Hunt.
Treasure Hunt, that's it, yeah. I thought, and that would be just crazy in that deck as well, but yeah, okay. So,
the Apex is on like the fine line of being... Literally, all depends on how it works out. They're either all going to be stupid, or I think they're all just going to be fairly balanced.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you got to look at it. I mean, they're meant to be powerful, but I mean, they're obviously the top of the food chain on Ikoria. I mean, I'll tell you what. We'll go on to the 4. They've only done 4 of them so far of the 5 Mythoses, and they all seem pretty cool. So we'll have a quick run through. So the first one is Snapex's Mythos. It's 2 double white for a sorcery. Each player chooses an artifact, creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker from among the non-land permanents they control, then sacrifice the rest, which to me seems very good. And then it says
I'm a big fan of a cataclysmic yield that choose the targets.
But then it's the added bonus of if it's in red and black. So this is obviously only ever going to be played in, I've forgotten what the colour you say is.
I mean, you can only ever play it in a Mardu deck anyway.
Mardu, that's the yeah. So you can only go in Mardu, but then when you do put it in a Mardu deck, you get the added benefit if you can put red and black into it, that you get to decide what your opponents lose.
Included in a Mardu
or a and that's true because of the because of those parameters put on the card. But realistically, if you can get that red and black mana put into the actual casting cost,
I think having an effect like this and you get to choose it as well is fine.
4 mana, take everything off the board. I mean, and especially in Commander, I mean, this is just crazy where you get into pick stuff. I mean, even if you get one person's board state that's not so good to target, you're hitting 2 other board states, and for 4 mana, I don't really know many other sort of board wipes that are going to work as well as this.
There is quite a few white cards which do effects like this, so it's not the first time we've seen something like this.
Oh no, I get that, but yeah, but it does.
Especially saying that black has such a weak time removing stuff like that.
Well, that's what I was going to get onto. Well, I mean, I think this is a good card, and I think you'll definitely see Commander play. Skipping on to the next one, which is the Mythos of Nethery, I think it is. Now this to me seems quite pushed as well, so it's 2 and a black, so it's the cheapest of them so far, for an instant that says destroy target non-land if it's a creature, which is pretty nice, 3 mana, you know, it's Murderous Rider territory. But then if you pay green and white, when you cast it, it can take out anything other than a land. Now that to me that's enchantments, that's artifacts, that's, you know, and that's in black.
You can destroy non-land permanent, but if you target the creature, you can only hit a creature. I have to spend green white in addition.
Oh, okay. So what we're saying then is it's going to be 3 mana, destroy target non-land permanent. However, if it's a creature, or if green white was spent to cast this spell. So
yeah, I'm just actually having to look because they have worded it very weirdly.
It is very weird because that I read it like that. Basically, it's going to, you know, it says destroy target non-land permanent if it's a creature. Right, job done. So you destroy non-land permanent if it's a creature, or the alternative cost is if it's green.
No, yeah. So you can destroy any non-land permanent.
Yep, brilliant, okay.
If it's a creature, or if you spend green-white to cast it to destroy the non-land permanent. So you have to spend Abzan to kill any non-land permanent type.
But if you spend just
or
black...
you can just spend a 3 to kill any creature.
Okay. So really, that's pretty...
very weird.
Very weird, but the long and short of it is, it can't go in mono black, as we said. It goes into black, green, white, or I forgot what's the term for it?
It goes in Abzan and higher.
Yeah, okay, so Abzan and higher. But realistically, that's a pretty damn good card for removing a permanent. I mean, I look at it, I'm thinking of Chaos Warp. So Chaos Warp is just shuffle it away. This is, it's gone.
Statistically better Beast Within sometimes.
Yeah, that's another good example. Beast Within, or that one, is it Curious? The one with the elephant on it? That Curious...
Generous Gift.
Generous Gift, yeah, with a little cute elephant on it. So yeah, I think this is a good card. I think it'll see play in quite a few decks as well. I've not really seen a sort of a bad Mythos card. Next up, Mythos of Ad-Rock. Now maybe this is the bad one, I don't know. So it's 2 double red for a sorcery. Mythos of the Mythos for this one deals 5 damage to add it as you choose among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers. If white and blue was spent to cast a spell until your next turn, those permanents can't attack or block, and their activated abilities can't be activated. Now, my question here for you is a planeswalker an activated ability?
Yes.
Right. So this basically against, let's say, I don't know, my Atraxa deck. If somebody shoots everyone, it stops all 5 planeswalkers going. If I have 5 out.
This is potentially a 4 mana, 1 damage to a board state, and they can't block during, like...
as a worst case scenario, yeah. Okay.
Well, worst case scenario is it's a 4 mana kill something.
Yeah, that's true as well. I mean, I think that, like you say, that the back end of this, or that has potentially exciting consequences, obviously in Commander format, is you're hitting a number of creatures across the battlefield, and what that's going to provide you is you're going to shut down a number of different activated abilities. So you can pick all the ones that are causing problems, and not just hit yours. You're going to hit other opponents as well. So I tell you what, I do like the artwork on it as well. That's pretty cool. I like all these sort of little burning villages or.
Oh, the artwork on all of them they're really nice.
Yeah. So we'll cut into the lap. Sorry.
It kind of like reminds me of like the caveman style art.
Yes, I was going to say it is like sort of cave drawings of, do you remember when Ad-Rock was coming in the land? And then when you see the artwork looks really, I won't argue with that. That's cool. But going one step further back to the previous Apexes, I mean, they look nice with the card they got, the artwork they've got for their standard draft boosters. But when you see the Godzilla sort of promo styles, I mean, crikey, I'll have to put some of them on the pictures because those alongside it, you're not even going to want these. In a nice possible way, you're not going to want your standard ones because as soon as you've seen the perfection that is the alternate arts, my goodness, that just takes it to a whole different level.
I actually love the art.
Yeah, we'll do a little bit of reviewing of the artwork of them right at the end. But so skipping over to,
I think so far, Broadcaster's Mythos might be one of the weakest.
Okay.
But yeah, again, that's something that might be up for debate.
because Mythos of Brokers, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem very weak. I mean, it's 2 green for a sorcery. If you pay,
the way that I see it,
I mean,
4 mana.
Yep.
If you spend Soul Tie on it, you do a name of the card. You do a the card which sends a card from your deck to drop.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I forget what. If you mean the 1 green.
No, the one black. Send a card from your deck to the.
I mean, I look at it and think. I mean, the fact that it's 4 mana, return up to 2 permanents from your graveyard to hand. That seems pretty good. You know, even if it's just 2 lands that you need, like a whatever at a certain stage. And like you say,
Eternal Witness.
Yeah, it's pay 1 more for a bigger Eternal Witness, and on the top of that is you can go and tutor out a card and put it in your graveyard, which you then could pull out into your hand. I mean that just seems and if we're talking, this seems like the worst of the 5. I mean, we haven't seen the 5th one yet; it hasn't been released, but it still seems a pretty interesting card, and I can't see why this wouldn't fit into a number of.
Oh no, so it's not like Mildrotha will happily have it.
I mean, I definitely will.
But yeah, again, it's for those kind of like combo-specific based decks.
Yeah, I mean, but not even in combo decks. I mean, even in just looking for value in a deck, it just seems really powerful. I like it. I can sort of dig that sort of one. Right. Well, I'll keep
some of the big ones. The Planeswalkers.
Yeah, I mean, looking at them, I mean, we'll skip on to them now. I mean, so the 2 new Planeswalkers, I mean, we've got an idea who the 3rd one's going to be. I mean,
it's guaranteed to be North.
We're all thinking that. It's not been confirmed yet, but with other cards that are in this set so far, it's most likely. I mean, I don't know what she's doing there. That asks the question. I've no idea why. And I've got a little bit of, I've read up a bit of the story or the sort of the prelim story that they were doing on MTG to do with Luca and Vivian and what's going on there, but no, Narset have not had any sort of mention of her yet, other than a couple of cards that we've seen.
A card.
Yeah, she's on one of the cards, and I think there's a quote somewhere. But there was also mention of Ikoria, which threw me on one of the cards as well. So I'm not sure whether.
I really wanted Ikoria to be in the set, but it's pretty obvious that Narset's there with the fact that she's fighting the type.
Yeah, I mean, because obviously I do like reading sometimes some of the little card buff or fluff at the bottom of the cards, and it makes you kind of wonder who's going to turn up and who's not, but it seems to suggest that it's Narset. But anyway, we'll have a quick look at the other 2 Planeswalkers then. So let's start with Vivian, because we like her. So she's 3 double green for a 3 loyalty Planeswalker, which seems a bit not that great at that stage, only having 3 loyalty, but some of the abilities on her. Static ability, you may look at the top card of your library any time, really good. You may cast a creature spell from the top of your library. Obviously, still got the restrictions there, but knowing what's there, it's pretty good. +1, create a 3/3 green beast creature token. Put your choice of vigilance counter, reach counter, or trample counter on it. That's what you always want from a Planeswalker. A plus ability that protects it. Seems really good. And then you could even straight away -2 her. When you cast your next creature spell this turn, search your library for a creature card with lesser converted mana cost. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library.
That's the big one.
I mean, that to me suggests that where combos and all sorts of crazy stuff can happen. But even in your sort of basic deck, it's going to do a lot of good.
Yeah, it's on a power level equivalent to, you could potentially say, Nissa, who shakes the world, but it's definitely not going to be that good in terms of having a stupidly good
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the previous 3 Vivian reads, and I'm just thinking, if you have Vivian Champion of the Wilds, that's the one that came out of War in the Spark. Follow it up with the next turn Vivian Monster Advocate. I mean, sorry, no. Vivian Champion of the Wilds on 3, turn 4, any creature you want, turn 5, Vivian Monster Advocate.
Really, like, the best one to compare this to is the 5 mana one from M19.
Oh, yeah, just a standard Vivian read.
Yeah. Because, like, its +1 did something, like, yes, it was more beneficial if you had a creature up, but it already started on high enough loyalty anyway.
Yeah, to protect
Minus
itself.
was really where that card shone.
Yeah,
because it could either kill an artifact or enchantment, or it helped you dig through your deck.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah...
And that was the 2 big ones on it.
I mean, to be fair, this one does help you dig through your deck a little bit, because you get to know what's on top.
Yeah.
You know, with other sort of green synergies.
Something that we see a lot anyway.
Yes, we do. And I'm trying to think of some of the green ones that I use.
Vizier of the Menagerie is a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
This doesn't let you spend any mana on the creature spells, so you actually have to pay their normal CMC.
True, but I mean, I think the statics are great on it. I think for 5 mana that seems fine. There's a little there. The uptick seems good, but yeah, like you say, you're going to be using the bottom ability, and then if she lives, then maybe you tick her up. But yeah, that sort of down tick seems pretty good.
Luca's an interesting one.
Now he's a funny one. So Luca, he's a new Planeswalker from this set, isn't he? So Luca Coppercoat Outcast. 3 double red for a Legendary Planeswalker with 5 loyalty. I'll let you run through the 3 abilities, and just give me a sort of a walkthrough where you see this card sort of fitting, and from there.
It's kind of stupidly good.
Okay, so
there's like really no way to put it. Like, its +1 gives you essentially it can give you 3 cards which you can cast.
Yeah, so the first one is so you've got exile the top 3 cards of your library. Create creature cards, exile this way. You may cast from exile as long as you control a Luca Planeswalker. Now that let's let a little caveat.
Say with any colour mana, so you still have to pay the normal mana cost.
Yes. Well, what interests me there...
In a deck like probably what you're going to be playing this in, you're going to be playing Vivian with it along with it anyway.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to be playing something like... I feel it'd be like either Clothis or it'd be the Nikya. The one which doubles your mana, but you can only cast creature spells, so you'd probably put this out first and then play Nikya and double your mana to...
I mean, it's got a lot of potential. I mean, I mean, what interests me, and maybe I'm reading from a different point of view, is it says the Luca Planeswalker, and that suggests to me, is there going to be a second Luca Planeswalker that's going to come out in maybe one of the commander decks?
Maybe the starter deck.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering as well.
If you play the starter deck one, then yes, you could.
And that's what I quite like, the fact that you've got 2 there. You get 2 Lucas straight away, because it does say a Luca Planeswalker, not Luca Coppercoat Outcast, which is always good when they start setting them up. So that seems pretty good. The next one is -2, exile target creature you control, then reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card with high converted mana cost, put the card on the battlefield, and the rest of the card on the bottom of your library in a random order. So I like the fact that you get you...
It's a better cascade.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, the first thing that I quite like is I noticed that all your cards go to the bottom of your library again, so you ain't going to lose them. And like you say, it's a better cascade. And we're on 5 loyalty, so you can pull this trigger twice, effectively, before having to uptick.
That's not what's going to be abused for. It says pull target Eldrazi from deck.
Yeah, I mean, exile target creature you control, then reveal, yeah. So you can hit one of your...
Exile target small creature, bring out target big creature.
Yep, which is pretty crazy at the best of times, and...
Like, pop an Olimog off in this and it's game over.
Yeah. It's and then if you've got a few Eldrazi's, if you get another turn with another Eldrazi, and like I say, it gets a bit crazy very quickly. I'm not so fussed about the ultimate. You know, each creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. I don't really.
No, that's good.
Really, you think that's that good?
It might not look good, but when you think about what type of deck it will be played in, that high-powered, like we are talking like big power. High CMC kind of costing stuff, so we're looking at like Void Winnower, which is like 9 power.
Yeah, I mean...
Artisan of Cos are like 9 power.
If we're talking all sort of big... Yeah, I can see that. Each creature deals damage...
Gigantosaurus, even though it's 5 CMC, that's 10 power.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, this could easily kill people, because it's not just it's to each opponent as well.
And the scary thing is, it's all 3 abilities that are on there. I mean, to be fair, looking at the... Again, it's the same again with the artwork. When I look at the first artwork, it's nice. The second one, it just reminds me of The Walking Dead, Ezekiel and his big tiger, and I'm thinking it looks really cool, and I don't want to have the other artwork. It's nice, but I just want to have that really cool artwork. So it's definitely going to get people pushing out to go and get these collector boosters or trying to pick them up on the secondary market, which I think is going to be pretty tricky because I can't see people really wanting to get rid of these cards, especially when they're forked out for sort of collector's boosters. But
Yes.
yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
I